All right, this afternoon we've got Mr. Arnold February with us from Business Partners. And Arnold, welcome and thank you for your time.
Sakkie, thank you. Thank you very much for the opportunity to you, your members of ROCCI, as well as to Quintus, who's on the line. It's a difficult time, and Business Partners, we would like to see how we can continue to support small and medium-sized businesses during this tough time.
Oh, awesome. Thank you so much for that. Yes, the relationship that we have with Business Partners and ROCCI has been going on for quite some time, and I think it's going from strength to strength. And specifically in this day and age, you know, where we're sitting at the moment with the COVID-19 lockdown, there's a lot of businesses, Arnold, that we are faced with a lot of challenges. And I think the challenge that we're sitting with at the moment is finances.
Correct. Correct.
All right. And then obviously I'm going to leave the floor over to you just to tell us a little bit more about the, I think it's the Rupert Fund that decided to give that administration of the fund over to Business Partners, which I think is a very good thing, because you guys are quite renowned in the market of being the leaders within the financing of small businesses. So I'll leave it up to you, Arnold. If you can explain to us how it work and all that. Thank you so much.
Sure. Thank you, Sakkie. So I think, first of all, Business Partners, we are administering the fund. The fund is in a public benefit trust, and it is an indefinite trust, a trust with an indefinite benefit for small and medium-sized entrepreneurs. We are administering the project linked to the relief for the COVID-19. Meaning that we will advance money, try and collect some loans, and once the COVID is done, whatever funds are available will continue indefinitely to support entrepreneurs, where Business Partners might or might not be the selected administrator. So just a little bit about the fund itself. What we've decided to do is to channel all entrepreneurs to our website, and that is small businesses being sole proprietors, formal sole proprietorships, as well as closed corporations and companies. And for sole, what we have is a 25,000 Rand grant. So there's a little bit of information required there, being financials, compliance, certificates with SARS, and just a little bit of history and motivation on one page on how the COVID has affected the business. Then for closed corporations and companies, we provide loans, part of which includes a grant as well. So I just want to elaborate more on that. The idea is that every transaction will have a minimum of 250,000 and a maximum of 1 million. We're trying to provide relief to small businesses who have struggled during this specific time. So working capital for about 4 months, 4, 5, 6 months during this difficult time. That is really what we're trying to do, is to assist entrepreneurs to stay afloat. And in addition to the loan, there will be, every application that's successful will get a 25,000 Rand grant. So the loan works as follows. So let's make an example. A company applies for a loan and is successful in the application. And let's assume it's an amount of 500,000. So what would happen is there will be a loan at 500,000, and in addition to that, a 25,000 Rand grant, which does not have to be repaid back. That 500,000 for the first year, there will be absolutely no interest. There will be no capital repayments required for the whole first year. And after that, between, let's say, month 13 and month 60, the entrepreneur will pay that loan off at prime. No additional security, no cross-suretyships, nothing to that effect. And the idea is to get the money in the entrepreneur's hands within a 7, 8, 9-day period, depending on the influx of the applications. What business partners has done, we've committed to administer the funding with no benefit to us. So we don't charge admin fees. There's no holding fee from our side. Often when we get applications in the normal course of business from intermediaries, business advisors who send us leads, often we would pay them a referral fee. So we can't pay a referral fee in this regard as well. So I think that's important to state. We don't know how long it will be. I think if we're looking at an average of 500,000, we might do, I think it's 2,000 applications. That can take a month, that can take 3 months. It depends on the process. But we will definitely endeavor to advance all the money that's available, which was R1 billion, and as well as assist the Public Benefit Trust in collecting as much of that money as we can. The idea is for entrepreneurs to play it forward. So entrepreneurs that come through this difficult time, that are able to pay the loan, that money will be reinvested to support entrepreneurs indefinitely. All right, so I think firstly from my side, we are very particular on the type of entrepreneurs we want to finance. So I just need to mention a few things, if you don't mind. So I think if I can break it up in about 3. The first thing to note is businesses who qualify are businesses who are compliant, tax compliant. So there would be a request for tax documents, clearance certificates, pay-as-you-earn statements, etc. So we want to assist entrepreneurs who are compliant and also who are the business in itself is solvent. So in other words, if the business has been making losses for several years, they probably won't get funding. It's because it's not a direct link to COVID-19. So we need the business to be solvent at least up until the 31st of January. And then although we'll assist businesses where there's 1 or 2 RDs, we won't assist a business where there's a list of credit defaults and judgments. So we will look into that as well. Understand that our normal process versus this process, it's really chalk and cheese in comparison. This process, we want to try and get all the information and make a decision within a day to 3 days, whereas in the normal course of business, we would actually have a thorough due diligence. So the idea is the application process must be online, all the information must be submitted online, and with that information, we want to have quick approval processes. Another important point is we've structured small committee teams consisting of 2 to 3 members, and decisions will be made on a daily basis for applications that are ready for approval. So once an application is done online and the information is vetted and the viability test has been determined and is conclusive, the investment officer will compile that report, and as a regional manager, I will check it, and it will go to a committee that meets daily to do an approval and to make a decision. There are no exclusions, so businesses in mining, agriculture can apply. Startup businesses can also apply. However, we would need management accounts if they're trading less than a year, and maybe a little bit of the financial projections for a year or so, just to prove that the business is able or will be able to repay back the loan. Yeah, so I think at the end of the day, it's really something new for us. We've never endeavored to handle a fund at this magnitude at such a fast pace. I do think there are a lot of benefits that will come from it. Once everything is back to normal, we'll look at what really works, and we'll even improve the efficiency within the company as well from a technology perspective. I want to make a comment that since we've opened the portal on Friday to date, we've received more than 1,000 applications online. So I want to apologize for entrepreneurs that went on Friday and the system might have kicked them out. You can imagine with 1,000 entrepreneurs trying to go onto the same website, it must have been quite a challenge. However, we've received many. I think in my inbox is about 100 alone that I still need to distribute today, which we will. And I think everybody within the company speaks with one voice that we all want to assist. So we're pulling all sorts of resources together. And there are also some of our entrepreneurs who are service providers to businesses who've put their hand up and said, hey, listen, we're also willing to assist free of charge if there's a capacity constraint, and we'll look into that if the need arises. So that's more or less, in a nutshell, the fund. So the benefit is online process, submit your documents, you must be compliant, must be solvent, must motivate how COVID-19 has affected your business. The funds of between 250 to $1 million, and the application of that funds could mean that we pay out monthly. So let's say your burn rate for your expenses is 150 a month. We can pay it out in tranches over 4 periods, for example. So that can also happen. And we're trying to do everything online, no phone calls, no visits, just quick decisions. And also important about the online application process. If the entrepreneur submits a document, or his or her accountant submits a document that is incomplete, it will be referred back as rejected and we'll inform the applicant what is outstanding. So please, when you do apply online, make sure that the information is complete and comprehensive. And rather do your motivation and say a little bit more than submitting at the risk of putting too little information in. So that's in a nutshell, Sakkie. So what's important to note is it's not our money. You won't become part of our portfolio. We're administering the funds, but once we've assisted you in this regard, there's always opportunities to inform entrepreneurs of our business partners, services and financial opportunities out there as well after the COVID-19 lockdown and perhaps the effects has been felt in the economy. Thanks,
awesome. Thank you so much for that, Arnold. I know Quintus has got one or two questions. Quintus, would you like to pose that questions?
Yes, please. Arnold, you spoke about the compliance of business owners. Can you maybe just elaborate on what compliance you're referring to? Being compliant to, I know definitely SARS. I know there's been a lot of speculation on social media in connection with BEE. Is that one of your criteria?
So I think, thank you for the question, Quintus. When we refer to compliance, we're referring to SARS, law of the land. Any business can apply. You don't have to have a BE accreditation. You don't have to be black only. We're really trying to assist as many businesses as we can. Also, some of the businesses, from business partners' perspective, we refrain from financing agriculture, primary agriculture, and even on lending. So even those exclusions are not applicable here. So any business can apply. We're really trying to support all businesses beyond the spectrum of business partners. So to make it clear, regardless of race, gender, even the stage of the business, we'll also do startup, but provided that there has been some traction and there's been some management accounts. It's important to have that reporting as well. just a footnote on that, Quintus, is if you're a startup or you've been trading for less than a year, often a startup trades in losses and only breaks even after month 6 or even longer. It's important to then write the motivation and maybe substantiate with contracts that you have on hand and your projections. So even startups can apply, Quintus.
Just a quick thing on the repayment of the loan part. What's the thinking behind that? I understand the paying forward, and I quite like that idea. But charging an interest rate, you're getting business people coming that's now in dire straits, and it's probably still going to last another year to get out of this mess. Now we're charging interest.
Okay, so I think first of all, the money is provided for the first year at no interest and no repayments, meaning that if an entrepreneur takes a 500,000 and by month 11 repays it back, there was no interest on it. So there's no penalties for early settlement as well. But obviously, because we want to take a long-term approach, we're providing an opportunity for the entrepreneur to pay it back over 5-year time. Consider that the loans are about 5 years in, and the value of money depreciates. So let's assume that of the billion that goes out, most of the entrepreneurs run into month 13 or 20 or 30. The interest is just there to protect some of the capital. The money gets reinvested into the trust, and whatever's repaid back is reinvested, and that money is now a public benefit trust, has now the mandate to invest that money for various projects linked to small and medium-sized businesses. So it's an indefinite benefit. Definitely the donor, they do not want the money back, but it's number one, just to protect the capital value of the time value of money. Also, some of the business might not make it. Let's be honest, some of the businesses might not make it, so you'll still have some write-offs, which we're trying to avoid. But the whole idea is whatever's left, we want to, the trust wants to be seen as an indefinite benefit for small and medium-sized businesses.
Obviously, there's no security, no collateral against the loan. What happens when a business owner defaults?
Yeah, so I think when a business owner defaults, business partners will try and collect. Obviously, from a legal perspective, there's no security. There's also no sureties. So from that perspective, there's not really much you can do from a legal perspective. So it's really a soft loan. It's really trying to get the buy-in. And I think we need to do what we can to assist the state in supporting entrepreneurs. We know that there's other funds available as well with different mandates to support workers as well as entrepreneurs. And from our perspective, although you could argue legally you don't have you're not as strong in a position to claim back your money. At the end of the day, we want to do it. We want to show our dedication to entrepreneurs, and we want entrepreneurs to see that they also part in assisting entrepreneurs. So the ones that will get on their feet, they will obviously repay the loans as far as they can, and that money can be reinvested as seen fit.
Yeah, I think that's also why the motivation is so important. Part of your application.
Absolutely.
Just to motivate the need for the money. Yeah. Thanks, Arnold.
Correct.
That's it.
My pleasure, Quintus.
I think also, just from the chamber side, Arnold, is there any ways, and I'm probably putting you on a spot here now. That's not my intention, but for the ROCCI members, what is the application? How can they go about? Do they need to go through the formal application process? And if you can maybe just give us some more details and just specific email addresses that they can use or website address that they can use. If you can just give
absolutely.
a little bit more information about that.
Absolutely. So I think, firstly, some of the ROCCI members, many of them are actually our clients as well, existing clients of business partners. And what is clear is that the public benefit trust and the funds available, it should be indifferent to whether you are an existing client of Business Partners or not. So everybody goes through the same process. It is online. It's from our website, which is www.businesspartners.co.za. On there, it will refer you to whether you're a sole proprietor or a formal close corporation or a company. There's also quite a lot of frequently asked questions, things that entrepreneurs might have been pondering about. There's some answers there as well. And the process is online. It's structured, I think, in 4 parts. I did it last week, Wednesday, so if memory serves me correct. It's just basic information, personal information, business information, and submitting a few documents online. I don't think it's a difficult process, especially for entrepreneurs who keep good internal records, who are compliant. That information should be readily available to you. Please don't forget to add your 1-page or 2-page of how the business how your business specifically has been affected. And there's also a distinguishing factor between whether you are in essential services or not. And again, I just want to reiterate, whether you level 1 BEE or non-compliant, it's really here nor there.
All right, awesome. Arnold, thank you so much for that information. I think, that answers quite a bit of information regarding, like Quintus just mentioned, a lot of speculations in the market, a lot of false news and, that's been going around specifically at these kind of funds and how people can apply for it. But thank you so much once again, and just send our regards to the Business Partners team, from ROCCI side. I know that you guys have always been there right in the front, when things needs to happen, you guys are always there and make it happen. And thank you so much for that. We will also make sure that, on this recording, that we also make sure that we put the necessary details on, on the platform, so where can people get hold of and where to go, obviously on the website. And also, we will also put the ROCCI information up as well, if they need any information as far as our conversation today. But once again, Quintus, thank you for your time. Arnold, once again, thank you for your time. And we will be...
Yeah, from our side, it's a great pleasure. We really see this as a great opportunity to support entrepreneurs. Thank you.
Thank you, Arnold.